Who are the biggest influencers in most young boys' lives these days? Footballers, rappers. A lot of rappers are the biggest influencers.
Not
in
even
a lot.
parents.
Not even parents.
Anyway, yeah.
Not anymore. Rappers,
Yeah.
And the lifestyle that they portray is seen as the norm. Most young men aspire for those
that.
same things. A lot of it's, like a lot of materialism. These things are attractive to young boys.
Yeah.
So that's the standard. The standard is I want to get money so I can get the nice car, nice clothes, and lifestyle.
Because they connect that to happiness, right? If I've got these things, therefore I'll be happy.
And if I don't have them things and I'm broke and I should basically be dead. That's the mentality.
Yeah.
That's the mentality.
Welcome back to another episode of the Goodman Factory podcast. I'm here with the man them. I'm Goodman Aaron. I'm here with Goodman Rizzy, Goodman Mike. Topic of today is expectations of us as men. So there's so many areas we can dive into when it comes to this, right? But I wanted, as always, I like to go back. So rather than necessarily expectations you put on yourself, what do you remember as a kid in terms of expectations being put on you by parents or anyone in your circle? Do you remember feeling like something is expected of me and feeling that pressure?
I'll go first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, there was a lot of pressure. There was an expectation of me being the golden child, I'm the firstborn, so everything has to go like clockwork. Everything has to be correct. Everything has to go smoothly. You have to get all A's and A stars. You have to go to uni. You have to get a good job, and you have to prove like you're the what's it called, the example to your younger brother. And I always felt that, obviously, from when he was born. And at first I didn't mind it, but when I started getting older, so I'm now a teenager, I'm realizing that I'm not just doing this for myself. I can't just have crisps or go and play football because it makes me happy. I have to do it in such a way, or do certain things or not do certain things because my brother's watching me. And then my mum will always let me know as well, look, hey, you're not just Michael by yourself anymore. You've got Calvin to now set an example for. She'll let me know once in a while. Or, you're the older brother, why are you doing that? Kind of thing.
So that's mumsy putting that pressure on you.
I'll say mumsy and maybe the culture. Like, I feel like it's almost like worldwide or well known in Nigerian culture that the oldest sibling has to set the president, the example, the standard for you to then perform and then catch up and be the same, if not better.
That's definitely true, because that was the same expectation that my family had for me.
Yeah.
So like my grandma, parents, they would look at me as the firstborn, and I have to set the example for my brother and my cousins that are younger than me, and they'll tell me that from a young age. I just had to deal with it, you know?
You know what? I have no siblings, so I never felt that. I never felt like, and I feel like mum maybe even overcompensated for my dad not being there. Like, I didn't really feel too much pressure. Like, I don't think I've ever shared this. In year 7, I didn't go to school for 6 months.
Wow. How come?
I just didn't like school. Didn't like.
But how did you get away? How did you get away with?
Because
not going to school?
my mum would have conversations. I was just really unhappy, so mum couldn't really force me to go. I think we had people coming around to assess me or whatever, and it wasn't until her partner moved in where there was like a man figure that I was kind of persuaded to go back.
Persuaded, or he said, get up and go to school.
It was like I guess it was now feeling like I can't maybe get away with certain things because there's another authority figure.
Right.
So yeah, then I remember just going back in year 7 and people were like, I thought you left. And it was like, I felt heated. But it was that expectation now of like, all right, I've got to go to school. But I can't, this isn't a choice. I have to make sure I'm going. With those expectations though, if we're talking about school, as you're going through it, were you expected to hit certain grades?
100%.
Did you feel that pressure?
100%.
Yeah, but I never got those grades. So
So wait, so you're feeling the pressure of like, for example, I need to get A's, or mum's expecting me to.
Nothing below an A was good enough.
So then,
My mum.
are you moving in a way that carries that in the sense of, all right, I'm expected to perform like this, so therefore I'm doing these things to make sure, or was it like I'm expected but bun it?
It's a combination of the two for me because I knew I had to perform. At the back of your mind, you're thinking, okay, we've come from humble beginnings. You're trying to do the rags to riches story kind of thing. But at the back of my mind, I was like, I have to perform. But as a child, and my attention span wasn't that great anyway.
Yeah.
So I just remember just trying to be a child or trying to enjoy myself at all times. I wanted to play games. I wanted to run. I wanted to play football. I wanted to do sports. I didn't want to read books. I didn't want to like answer questions. I was good at certain subjects just naturally, but other than that, I didn't really want to. But then I'll get reminded sometimes. Like let's say I get a bad grade,
Yeah.
and then my mum reads it and says, "So this is what I sent you to school for? To go and talk and not perform? Is that what I sent you to school for?" Kind of thing. So you have to then go, "Oh yeah, I have to perform. I forgot." And then my little brother's looking at me like, "Well, is this what I have to compete with? This is easy," kind of, you know what I mean? So, at the back of my mind, I was like, I do have to perform, but at the forefront of my mind, I wasn't necessarily thinking about it. It just every interval or there would be certain reminders along the way that made me realize that okay, I need to stay on track. I need to do what I need to do. Don't be messing around too much.
When it came to GCSEs, what kind of pressure did you feel?
there was a lot of pressure because my parents had invested in further education
Okay.
beyond school. So where they're investing their money into that,
Yeah.
there was that expectation as I want to see the return on
Yeah,
investment.
yeah.
Yeah, but
ROI, innit?
G- GCSE results were I just scraped. I didn't like get amazing grades. C's everywhere.
All right, so I wanna touch on that, right? So you know you're expected to perform, right? And you've done your GCSEs now, and you're going to collect your GCSEs.
I was pissed.
Tell me about that.
My head was hot.
Tell me,
My head was
The
hot.
walk to school. Remember?
Yeah, I remember, I
It
remember.
almost felt like the
because
walk of shame.
you could either go and collect it or get it posted, or is that
I went to collect mine.
you could?
Yeah, I went to collect mine as well.
Saw it and my head. I couldn't believe it because I worked hard.
Did you think like, all right, before you open it, was you thinking, yeah, no,
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
I hit this one.
I've got it. I did well. And I saw my grades. I was like, wow, wow. And I tried as well. I said,
But that's the thing. I feel like it's an inner kind of. So, mum and dad have invested in you to try and get an A stars, nothing below that. But you know how much brain power, how much calories you burnt from just reading books, how much like effort you put in to get those grades. Yeah. In my case, I've done the exact same thing. So I put in so much effort. My mum paid for a private tutor, I think, for English and maths.
yeah.
I was already good at science. I was one of the best in my class at science. But mum didn't care about science because as long as you're good at English and maths, that's all I care about. Then I remember walking to school and then one of my teachers was like, "Oh my gosh, congratulations, Mike." She knew my grades. I was like, my maths teacher. I was like, I've never seen. Hold on.
Yeah.
And then I think my English teacher also said, "No, I'm very impressed. Well done." I've opened my GCSE results, and I think I got like lots of B's and lots of C's, not one A. But I'm thinking, you know what? I put in effort. I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
I went home, showed my mum because she put on her glasses. You know when they reach for the glasses? So no A.
Straight away.
That's all she was. She didn't see it. Even like there
No
was
other letters in the alphabet.
That was it.
Yeah.
She didn't care. And I was like, remember, I went from big smile, all my teeth, back teeth were showing.
Because you were happy
no
with
A.
that.
Yeah,
you were happy with.
I know how much effort I put. I was sweating, bro. The way I was writing, I can't even tell you enough. Like honestly, I put in so much effort, and the fact that I got, I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 B's, and the rest were C's. I was happy with that. My mum looked at it and said, "Not an A, not one A, not even A star, not even A star, Michael. So you just wasted your time." I said, "Mum, I've put in." I couldn't even tell her at the time that I put in effort.
Expectations.
Yeah.
It's mad.
She doesn't understand it. She looked at me like,
Mine were terrible. Like absolutely. I know you didn't reveal what you got
How
yet.
did, how did you
I
feel?
just said I done bad.
I did.
That's why I
Nah,
revealed mine because I
like,
thought I'd done all right.
I went into it knowing, I don't think this has gone well, you know. I don't think this has gone well. And I remember collecting it, and I was like, I'm not opening this near anyone. So I remember opening it and seeing D's, like I think some C's, the odd B. Like I think I got 1 or 2 B's. I think it was PE and maths were like my highest performing. But I just remember this feeling coming over me, like I've let my mum down.
That's how I felt.
That's the first
yeah,
thing
yeah,
I was
that's how I
like,
felt.
I've got to explain this
Yeah.
to someone that expected more from me.
Yeah.
And you got the kids around you saying, "Oh, what did you get? What did you get?" And they're the ones that had the greatest
stars.
marks, yeah. So
Yeah.
they're okay to ask people, "Oh, what did you get?" So then you can say, oh, "Yeah, what did you get?" "Oh, I got A's." And
Just shine it
that's
in
the
your
only
face,
reason
yeah.
you're asking, innit? So you can flaunt what you've got. But I just remember that feeling of like, "Oh, I've got to tell my mum."
Yeah, the disappointment.
I
innit?
went gym. I went from school to gym. I was like, I need to process
Decompress.
this. Yeah, but to be fair, I think my mum said something like, "At least you tried your best." And in my head, I was like, I didn't know. I didn't. This isn't my best. These marks here can't be my best but it's just, I wasn't interested. With me, like, I'm not interested in science. Bunsen burners and
I was.
Really?
Yeah.
I loved science. Honestly, I was more interested in biology, but I loved science. I was decent at maths, and my teachers. I think teachers make a difference as well. My 2 maths teachers in school in year 10 and year 11 were great, and my English teacher was quite good as well, which is why I got decent grades in all 3. But yeah, I loved science. I still even now I still study science in my own time. That's literally Google stuff or read certain biology books and that.
So we've got different feelings there, yeah. So you're going to your mum feeling like I've done good, but then being found out it's not good enough.
And that's when I felt the feeling that you felt like
Yeah.
I've let her down.
Whereas I think we're going to our parents feeling like, no, this isn't what was expected. So we already know.
I can't remember how my parents reacted. I can't remember.
But you remember how you felt though,
I remember how I felt.
because I feel like that's something we
Yeah.
don't forget. A feeling is something that
Yeah,
stays with
I
us.
felt a bit of shame. I was like, oh. Yeah, so I was disappointed with my results. I know you're enjoying this conversation, but I'm here to remind you that this episode is sponsored by Goodman Beard Oil, plant-based, chemical-free beard oil to soften and moisturize your facial hair. Order now, goodmanfactory.com, and use code GPOD1 and become a good man today.
But let me ask you a question then. Feeling those disappointments,
Yeah.
like you failed, did that change you in any way? Did that mold you? As you're now going into college, did it turn something on, or make you kind of like shy away even more?
So for me, I would say failing in school. I didn't fail, just scrapes. So I got like loads of C's.
Yeah.
I got D's in like irrelevant subjects like RE, religious
Yeah.
education. But it just confirmed to me that I need to go down a different path, and it sent me down the creative path. I knew that I'm not great at maths, science, and I was like, I was decent at when it came to English. I didn't listen in class. I used to always get into arguments with the teacher as well. But it just made me realize, okay, what can I focus on? And then in college, I decided to go down the media route.
Yeah.
So I would say it was a blessing, because before that, I remember saying, oh, I want to be a doctor or something like that.
And was that what you wanted to be?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Because when I was young, I said I wanted to be a doctor because it sounded like that was the thing to say. Like, my parents would be happy if everybody would be happy if I become
doing
a doctor.
it to please other people. Yeah.
Basically, that expectation of, be a lawyer, doctor, or
All 3 of them.
or accountant,
Engineer or accountant. Yeah.
or engineer. Yeah, nonsense. I'm happy I didn't go down them paths.
I was gonna say that's a Nigerian. That must be a Nigerian thing.
It's definitely.
My mum said the same thing to me. Like, no, sorry. When she asked me what I wanted to be, she wasn't asking me because she wanted to know what I wanted genuinely. 'Cause
Yeah.
I would have said footballer.
Telling you what you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have said footballer. I want to play for Arsenal. How about that? She would have looked at me and said, "Are you mad?" But I said, "I want to be a doctor." She'd go, "That's my boy.
Yeah.
That's my boy. Everyone back home is going to come to rush.
Oh.
All the women will come and rush you." I was like, "Mom, it's not even. I don't want to be a doctor." And I said it for the longest time. And then when I realized that, again, I wasn't that academic. Like if I focus and I really try, I can get really good grades.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at cramming in information in the last minute. So let's say an hour before the exam or the day before the exam.
That's all that's all it takes to get good grades in school, you know.
That's what
It's
I'm
a
doing.
memory
How much
test.
information you can cram
It's a
into your
memory
head.
test.
And I was terrible at that. I was terrible at remembering things. I had bad memory when I was younger.
And that's the thing, it's hard.
Yeah, I couldn't cram information. I could not do it. So that's why I did so terribly in school. Like I didn't do great. I didn't get good grades in school.
So like, at what point do you feel those expectations of others, when it came to like your education or your career path or whatever, kind of, you no longer felt it?
What, as in there was no
As in
pressure?
like, for example, if you wanted to change careers now, your mum's probably not going to say anything. Yeah? Like when you started this brand.
So becoming independent, basically.
Yeah, where you're
to
like, none of
control
that
life.
noise matters now.
Yeah.
The only expectation is the one I'm placing on myself.
Yeah. I would say when I started university,
So you're now placing that expectation on
that's
yourself.
when it was like, yeah, this is all me. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this to get an outcome, to get a job. So when I started university, I studied advertising and marketing, and I did it with the aim to work for an advertising agency. So I wanted to be a copywriter for an advertising agency, and that was my desire. That was it. That was my plan. So, and that was my decision. I just did it because this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's the first time in my life that I took ownership, and I was like, I'm doing this for me, not for other people, to make anyone happy or to make my parents proud. This is the life that I'm setting in stone for myself.
What about you?
Mine was a little later in life. So I went to uni not because I wanted to. I went to uni because my mum wanted me to. And I didn't study.
Would you have gone uni though?
Maybe if I studied like, let's say, engineering or something to do with biology, maybe. But other than that, I wouldn't have went to uni. I would have literally, you can Google most of the stuff that I learned from business management, which again I was good at, but I didn't really like it. I only done it again because it was a degree, and then having a degree as a Nigerian is, you're already there.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. Now, mum said, when you finish that one, masters.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you finish that one, PhD. I was like, I can't.
never ending,
I hate
innit?
study.
It's
Yeah,
never ending.
literally. I hate
Oh
it.
my God.
And so I've now come out of a degree in business management. Still to this day, I'm now in my 30s. I've never used that degree. I'll be honest. I don't remember what it was about, except for the title, business management.
Yeah.
Maybe after a couple of jobs, I said, I can't do this no more. I'm just working. I've got a degree. I'm not doing any graduate schemes.
Yeah.
There's nothing I like or nothing that I feel like I have purpose in. So I said, I had a conversation with my mum, and I was just like, you know what, Mum, I tried to do everything for you, and I hope you're proud of me, but I'm gonna do things my way now. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I can't just be working, and I didn't want to go to uni, but I went uni for you. I didn't even want to do GCSEs, but I did GCSEs for you. Like, I've done a lot of things for you, and I feel like it's time for me to do things myself.
Take charge.
I actually had to sit, because my mum won't understand. She won't take it the way I'm. Even when you sit her down, she sometimes doesn't get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, so you're trying to tell me you want to disappoint me? Then is the way she'll
Yeah,
take
yeah.
it. But I then had to prove again that what I'm doing is for the greater purpose, or just for the greater good. It's
And it's
for
gonna
me.
work. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
for you. I want you to retire early, as everyone wants their mum to retire early. But let me trust in me to do what I need to do to get to where I need to be.
Because this is the worry, right? That like you can spend so much of your life living for someone else.
Yeah.
And just having this conversation, I'm like, as a kid, you're living with you want to impress your mum, you want to, do you know what I mean, do right by certain people. You might fail in your GCSEs. Then it's like, I need to go college or I need to go uni because people expect me to do that. Yeah. I need a certain type of job, like, because there's an expectation. And you're living your life for all these other people. I felt that the most though in relationships.
You think so?
Where I felt like, I'm doing this to please other people, or I'm doing this because I now have to. I'm a dad. Like, so when we're talking about finally getting to a point where you feel like, nah, this is on me, I'll probably say in the last few years.
Wow.
Big 38 years old,
Wow.
and I'll probably say in the last few years, I'm like, you know what? My kids will be good regardless. My mum will be all right. Like, I can't keep living for partners. I have to start focusing on what's going to make me happy. Because my life clock is just ticking down. So that's when I was like, you know what? This co-parent journey and everything, that was me thinking, nah, this is what I like doing. This is what I feel like I'm good at. This is where I feel like I'm serving and bringing purpose. So yeah, that like late in my 30s.
Wow.
That's fair. I don't think it's a bad thing. Even trying to just focus on yourself. I don't think it's too late. Sorry, if you just feel like, you know what, today I woke up and I feel like this is what needs to be done. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I have purpose. This is where I need. This is the direction I need to go in. So on and so forth. I've done the same thing with my job. So all these other jobs I was working. So I've worked in a timber yard. I've worked in Specsavers. I've worked in like a plus size lady shop, clothing shop. I've done all of these jobs like in retail.
Yeah.
Then I finally found a job that I was actually decent in, earned a bit more money. So now I'm working in a bank.
Yeah.
But even then you discover that this is not it.
Can't do this forever.
No, I can't do this forever. I need to get into a certain part of the bank, or I need to get into tech, or whatever it is I'm trying to get into. But I'm happy that I took the reins on where I wanted to go in terms of my career and how I wanted to make my money and all the rest of it. But
So let me.
I still feel like if I still try to live through other people, or just let my mum and other like aunties and uncles dictate where I went in terms of work, then I'll still be stuck in wherever. You know what I mean?
But based on what you just said just now, everyone's timing is different. You know, like it might be at 30, 35, 40, in your 20s, in your teens. Everyone's going to discover or have that realization where it's like, this is my life. Let me take charge of it. And you'll be surprised. Some people live a whole lifetime just living life for just to meet other people's expectations.
That's where resent comes in, though. You can
Yeah.
start resenting.
Yeah.
heavy.
Even in marriages.
So let me ask you then. So as men now, yeah, what expectations do you feel are on men in general? Like through society expectations of men. Like, are we meant to earn more than women? Are we meant to fulfill certain roles? Are we meant to handle ourselves in a certain manner? Like, what do you feel like are some of the things that men are expected to do in 2023?
So from societal, when it comes to like how society has expectations on men, is that you must be able to have a roof over your head, and
From a certain age?
Probably there is a pressure.
Where do you feel like that?
I
Like
think
by this age, you're expected to have your own.
30.
30 is the magic number.
30, yeah.
Just because of the things that I mean, we've had a conversation on it. We spoke
Yeah.
about, you know, living at home
Yeah.
after 30. But I would say, yeah, society does. But even on a personal level, like, I also agree with that too. That by 30, you should have things together where you're able to like move out of the bird's nest.
So for a man to still be at home by 30, would that be looked at as a failure?
I don't know if it's looked at as failure, but it's just
you
you're
think
you're
society-
behind. You're behind. Society
yeah.
society looks at you like you're behind because you still live at home at 30. Because who knows? It might be 32 is the year the same guy moves out and goes and moves into a mansion. You know.
We don't actually know the backstory yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or you don't know what he's been through. Maybe he was something crazy happened to him when he was 28 years old, where he lost all his savings. These things happen, and he had to start again. So he's like, there's a 2-year delay.
Right, what about financially?
yeah, no, there's definitely a pressure on man in society to provide.
To have finances together.
Yeah, provide. But what's it called? Protect and provide. If you don't have your finances together, for me, as a man of my age now, in my early 30s, I was going to say early 20s.
Yeah, wishful,
I was
innit? Wishful.
Early 30s. I feel like it's more attractive when not necessarily that you're rich and you're flaunting all your money or your wealth, but that you have your finances under control, I feel like is more attractive to a lot of women. I don't. I've spoken to a lot of girls and even some exes and even my current missus, and it's not necessarily the fact that you can flaunt it. It's just the fact that you have everything under control. So they still want to work on their money. They still want to have their money. That's fine. But they want to know that I've got the security of my man always having everything under control when it's whether it's finances or even just like mood. And if something goes wrong, I know my man's got the ideas and he's always cool, calm, and collected.
So the man provides the solutions.
But you know what's crazy? I think that is a lot of the times in the mind of men. I think
You don't think women worry?
I think there's a lot of women out there that don't care about all that.
Do you think so?
I think a lot of men put it in their mind that all women are like that. Because there are a lot of women that are in relationships with guys that don't have that kind of security, financial security, but they're still in the relationship. They may not be happy with the way things are, but they love the person and they're with the person.
They're working on it, maybe, yeah.
I think as men we have that expectation that, you know, this is what women want, and as a man I must serve that, which is fine. It's good to have expectations for yourself. It's good to measure how you're performing
against others.
That's innately in us, though. We want to perform.
You want to perform. You know, you want to perform.
But I think that's the problem, right? So at what point, where is performance?
Down to your expectations, down to your desires of where you want to get to in life, or how you want your life to be.
But this is why I like this platform, right? Because I think we're having a more realistic conversation about expectations, right? I think there's some platforms out there, not to mention names, that are embedding in a lot of young people's heads, like this extreme destination for a man. Like if you're not up here, you're below.
Yeah,
right. And even my son's growing up, and I know that his expectation is that he's going to be making money.
Yeah, definitely. I was like that when I was young as well. And I would say that that's just the norm now, because when you think about it, growing up for a young man, young boy, who are the biggest influences in a young boy's life, in most young boys' lives these days? Footballers, rappers. A lot of rappers are the biggest influences.
Not even parents.
Not even parents. Not anymore. Rappers, and the lifestyle that they portray is seen as the norm. Most young men aspire for those
that.
same things. A lot of it's, you know, like a lot of materialism. These things are attractive to young boys.
Girls.
So that's the standard. The standard is, I want to get money so I can get the nice car, nice clothes, and lifestyle.
Because they connect that to happiness, right? If I've got these things, therefore I'll be happy.
And if I don't have them things and I'm broke and I should basically be dead. That's the mentality. That's the mentality.
It is wild. I'm laughing, but
so
it's wild.
Understanding that a lot of young boys have that expectation in their mind from a young age. You can understand how a lot of young boys grow up to be men that then like carry that burden of, I'm behind, I'm not doing my thing.
But then are we setting young people up for failure, or are we setting them up? Because there's the old saying in it that aim for the stars, and if you fail, at least you reach the clouds or whatever. Like, so aiming high isn't necessarily a bad thing, but my concern is that maybe it's so far away from where a lot of these people, like if we talk about percentage, the percentage is small in terms of how many people are earning a certain amount or whatever, right?
Let's say it's 2%. Is it so that expectation that's that standard that's that expectation that's set for young boys when it comes to, like, you know, aim for the best in whatever it is you want? I think it's damaging to young boys, because 90% of young boys won't ever reach that standard. So how does that then affect them mentally? And I think it's what's the word?
Catastrophic.
Yeah. What then the outcome to not reaching that expectation? It leads people to do crazy things for money.
Off camera, someone was saying about 50% have £1,000 in there.
Yes. So I was saying that
the stat,
I can't remember the exact number.
Yeah.
Don't quote me if I say it wrong, but I think it's over 50% of people in the UK have less than £1,000 in savings.
That doesn't surprise me though.
It surprised me until I realized I was in that situation.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah, it's like between is it 25 and 35 or 21 and 31? I can't remember the age range, but it's like it hit home because I was in that demographic, that that age range, and I was like, "Bro, I really don't have a bag in my account. Oh, that's nuts!" But I got it, and I was like, and not everyone has the same story as me. Not everyone had to, let's say, have so much financial responsibility from early in mum's house or in my own house, so on and so forth. But it just goes to show you're not the only one. You haven't failed just because you haven't got a grand in your account.
And
you can always make a grand later and save it.
And they say only, this might be a terrible quote, yeah, less than 5% of people earn more than 100k or something like that.
Yeah,
that's why I thought, let me play it safe and say 5%.
Yeah, 5% is,
I think it might even be 1%.
I was thinking
If
about
it's 400k, I think it's like less than 1%. But if we're talking about 100k in the UK,
probably 5%
I
or
think
something.
there's like 5% maybe. I can't remember the stat myself. But realistically,
But yet, when you turn on social media or you turn on certain platforms, it looks like everyone is earning more than 100k. Everyone's got access to these things.
So I was going to say, even when you ask like kids, teenagers, even young women and young men, like what do they? So if you ask a young woman, I don't know about nowadays, but not too long ago, if you asked a woman how much do you want your man to earn, a lot of them will say easily 100k. 100k. I'm like, do you know how much 100k is in pounds sterling?
But at the same time, there's loads of women that don't have that desire to be with a man with 100k.
What is that? The majority of women.
There's many women out here that are with men that don't even earn up to 30k, and they're in the relationship. They're happy. They're happy.
Sure?
So
what's the evidence?
I'm gonna play the devil's.
So Mike, wait, let me hold it. So Mike,
come back to me.
So when it comes to that perception of like, oh yeah, like women want guys with 100k salary, I think that's in the mind of many men. They think that loads of women want that. No, the type of woman you want, the type of woman you desire, wants the man with 100k salary.
Maybe, yeah.
Humble yourself.
Yeah.
Get with the woman. There's many women out here that they don't need a man with 100k salary.
So then, are you saying that expectations of people going into relationships are too high?
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that.
No, in the sense of like, there's certain people that believe like there's certain women that want a man with 100k,
which is fine if that's what you want. That's okay.
No, but is that a realistic? Is that a realistic? Because we've got expectations, right?
It is realistic.
Got realistic expectations.
It is realistic.
So, like for example, if I said right now I want to be top scorer in the Premier League,
that's unrealistic.
It's an unrealistic expectation of myself, right?
Yeah, because you're not a footballer. You're not a footballer.
I haven't played ball in years, and now I'm saying, you know what? Like, I need to somehow. No, Ronaldo stayed in football, you know.
Yeah,
but it's capable for a woman to get with a guy with 100k salary.
No, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. Like, it's not impossible. Yeah, if somehow overnight something happened, the whole Premier League got wiped out. Yeah, and
or you own
I could just But what I'm saying is the possibility. Yeah, the percentage is getting smaller and smaller, right? So if I'm a man on 15k. And I'm like, you know the woman I desire? Like Christina Milian. Yeah?
She's a lingers, bro.
That was my go-to as a child, yeah? That was my still to this day.
Off topic, but say.
But realistically, the possibility of that happening is so minute. Yeah? 15k, I'm earning 15k, I'm based in London, she's this celebrity, wherever. And that's why I'm like, are certain people setting themselves up for failure with their expectations being too high?
I don't think I've got the right to say that because, I think anyone can achieve anything they desire in life. Anyone can achieve anything they desire in life. If a woman desires to be with a man with 100k salary, she can get it if she puts her mind to it.
Are you backing that?
No, but the expectation. I feel like, let's say the majority of women want a man with a decent salary. Let's not use 100k because it's a big number.
Yeah.
But a decent salary.
What's a decent salary?
The average salary in the UK, what is 30, 33, 35? Maybe a little bit more.
I thought it was less.
No, it's more than that. It's creeped up as well over the last decade. It's creeped up. It used to be like 20 something. Now it's like 35. Yeah. But let's say realistic.
Okay, let's say 50K.
50K, which
Yeah.
is still
Oh, what is a good salary?
No, let's just say that 50K is
is where they're trying to reach. Because
Yeah.
100K seems a bit mad. But again,
Okay, all right.
how many of the so the majority of women want a man that either makes the same as them, realistically, or more.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So if a woman's already on 45,
Yeah.
she doesn't want. I don't think even if a man's earning less, she needs to see that he's doing the work to get the same as her or more. I don't care what anyone
The
says.
desire.
Yeah, as long as he's covering the bases as well and doing what he needs to do as a man, I don't feel like a woman wants a man that's just gonna be like, oh, you're earning enough, babe, man. You do the, you know what I mean, and go and wash the plate as well. She's gonna look at you like, you're alright.
But let me throw something at you. As a man, yeah, if you're on 100K, 50K, 80K, whatever,
Yeah.
and your woman is earning minimum,
Yeah.
yeah, are you gonna care?
No.
It doesn't. Again, we don't care.
No, but this is what I'm saying. So we're saying that women don't have that feeling in them, because I feel like that's a thing of no, I love this person, so I don't care what they.
I think there's many women out there that
Women
are
have
like
that-
that.
women
that are
have
like
that feeling,
But
sure.
not the
Yeah.
majority though.
Not the majority.
Not the majority. I don't think the majority. And it's not to say that they're bad people for it. That, like you
Yeah,
said,
you
they're
can have-
not bad
you're,
people
no,
for
you're
it.
not bad. No,
You know what I mean?
a woman having a desire to be with a man who's a
And
big
yeah.
earner. I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
But why
If that's
are,
your-
we, why are we desiring that though?
Why not?
No, but what I'm
men like to
saying,
compete with each
no.
other.
So what I'm saying, yeah, is my desire, and maybe it's man-woman thing, yeah. My desire wouldn't be to be with a woman that earns 100K. My desire would be for me to earn 100K.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people out there having desires to be with someone that earns a certain amount. To me, I don't like that because it's like, why is the
Yeah.
desire not on yourself to earn that?
It's hard.
No, but shouldn't the desire be in self first rather than we're looking at my desire is for someone else to have something, so it benefits me.
No. Yeah, I think that makes sense. That makes sense. My desire is for my husband and potential father of my children to earn a certain amount.
For security and
I understand. That makes sense. That does make sense.
I know what you mean.
Are you building that man? Are you going to take a man
There
on
you
20K and help build him to 100K?
There you go. And essentially that's what it's about. Because if you,
some can.
I view it as that if you pour into him, then you're at the same time you're pouring into yourself.
The return on investment is
Yeah,
he looks
the
after
ROI.
you.
What's the
Yeah,
ROI?
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looks after you. He takes even if you separate in a lot of cases, he still wants to do what he can for you and the kids.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So she's putting an effort. She's put, like you said, poured into
Yeah.
her man's cup.
Yeah.
And she wants him to succeed.
And
Whatever
the
happens,
same
happens.
vice versa as well. It can happen. There are men that do that as well. So let's just say, for example, the woman is very great at whatever it is she does, and then he comes and plays his part to support her. She's the main breadwinner, and he benefits from her being the breadwinner.
Do you
That
think
happens
lasts,
too.
though?
I don't
always
know.
feel like those relationships.
I don't know.
That maybe I'm thinking too traditionally because again, my mum has taught me a lot of these ideas where she's very blunt about it. If you are not earning more than your woman, she's not gonna respect you. Is the way my mum used to say it to me.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand it, but it's not like that nowadays. It's not the same as it's not as cutthroat or as blunt as that. But I still feel like that a man needs to. If a man can't provide, which we always say protect and provide. If he can't provide, that's one of his two
Alright,
things
if
that have gone out the window.
If we're talking about women, right, and this could be edited horribly, yeah? so Malik, I'm trusting you so much of this, yeah. Like since my platform's grown, yeah, the interest from women has grown even more,
skyrocketed.
right? But they have no knowledge of what I'm earning. They have no knowledge on anything other than.
But they see the value in you, right?
Mm-hmm.
They see the
So,
value.
Do you think that they're expecting me to be a certain way, or there's the reason why there's more of an interest is because I'm portraying a man of a higher expectation, of a higher way of being? Because nothing I release shows salary, nothing I release shows material.
And that's my point where it comes to like women will get with a man who they see value in. Like they don't necessarily have to know.
So value
salary-
doesn't need to be
It
financial.
doesn't need to be like monetary, like money.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be money. It can be like you can just tell when you're around a valuable person. You can tell. You can tell when someone is valuable. And I think women are very good at reading that. They don't need to know how much does he earn.
So then let's change that, right? So we're saying as men, there's an expectation on us to bring value.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think we put that expectation on ourselves though.
But women,
I don't
we are more desirable
I've
to
never-
females
I've-
if we are
We
more
bring
valuable.
value, and it
Hundred-
doesn't have to be finance. You're right.
100%.
So now my status has risen. The interest
Yeah.
has risen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You could say that by yourself.
yeah.
But I think people equate followers as well with finance or value. Like you said, it does bring value. Like 100,000 people,
That's very
100,000.
That's very sad though, man.
The amount of people that feel like I've had people create videos and whatever saying this man's like earning money off of such and such, and I'm like, don't confuse 100K with me
Yeah.
having now more of an
Yeah,
income.
people think social media following amounts to like loads of money. It's very, I don't understand that way of thinking. There are loads of people online with big following. They don't make a penny from their audience. They can't even make a penny. They don't even know how to monetize
and
their
they're selling. There's
followers.
nothing for them to sell. Like,
Nothing.
They
And
just look pretty.
Even when they try and sell something, no sales with loads of followers.
But I feel like when you see a lot of followers, it normally means you bring value in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You bring some sort of knowledge, power. I don't know what it is. Anything.
But this is where I get the frustration, right? Because there's so many. I see it all the time, right? I see beautiful women with bare followers.
Yeah.
Right, and I'll admit I've gone through their page sometimes, right, because I'm looking for a video that shows them speaking, and I don't even know what they sound like because they're doing a lot of those miming. You see the miming videos
Or
where someone
fingers are
else's
clapping.
voiceover, yeah, and I'm like, I have no idea what nationality you are, like what language you speak or anything, but you've got all of these followers based on how you look, but yet a man will look at that and say she's got 200,000 followers, like she's more of a catch.
But whose fault is that?
I don't know if a man think. If
You don't think of a man. You don't think if someone has more followers, yeah, they're looked at as a.
They are.
Like we said, stats.
I know loads
idol,
of men like that. I know loads of men like that.
that they want a certain.
I know a lot of men like that.
that men that look for women with status.
Yes, I know a lot. Listen,
These man, don't come near me, boy. I don't know. Maybe the way I think is a bit different, or maybe it's even weird. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't look at a woman's page and think she's valuable. Oh my gosh, because she's got 200,000 or 2 million followers.
Would you be put off a woman because of that?
Yes.
But then you're equating something to it.
I am, definitely. And mine is the opposite of what the majority of these guys are. Oh my gosh, she's pretty. Oh my gosh, she's shaking her bum. I'm going to follow that.
yeah.
Not me. I'm just the complete
Because think
opposite.
about it. Why do they have such a large following? Because
There's a desire.
there's a desire. Men are following to say, yeah, I want. Why do you think
Somebody
OnlyFans
might have that's booming.
produces a lot of money for a lot of people?
But see, if I go on OnlyFans, what am I going to shake that will make these
I
girls
mean-
buy into me? That's the difference. So the way we think is completely different. I can't go on OnlyFans now and shake my
I mean, you
bum.
could if you wanted to.
I'm not doing that, boys. God forbid. But you know what I mean? So if a girl does that now, she could be average or she could be okay. If she does it, man then will buy into it. But I feel like if it's the opposite,
So,
it won't
so
work.
in reality, yeah, we're so distracted by things that actually make no difference.
What do you mean?
As in, like, like so many people out there desiring a certain type of person, right?
Yeah.
But none of these things equate to what that person's going to be like.
Yeah.
They could earn 100K, they could have 200,000 followers, they could look a certain way. And we, based off of those things, we expect
It will cost you though.
a certain, I guess, relationship with them or a certain type of happiness that is going to come from being with
Yeah.
someone like that. And that's where I'm like, that's unrealistic to assume that because the woman is a certain type of, or has certain things, or the man has certain things, that's going to equal your happiness.
Yeah. But
That expectation is flawed.
a tough lesson that comes with that is it's like it's wow. It's like when you go through it and you come out of the other side and you come to that realization that what you thought based on what you saw on the outside isn't the reality. It will cost you. It will cost you.
So as we wrap up then, let's end with that, yeah? What has been an expectation you've had that you think actually had a negative effect on you that you no longer desire?
That's just a juicy question.
Mm.
Something that what I've prejudged, and it wasn't what I expected. You mean?
Yeah, or you're just like, you know what? I don't want that anymore. Like I'm just not that my happiness doesn't lie in that.
You might have to cut this out. But I was gonna say big backs, but it doesn't
Yeah.
equate to. You might have to cut that one out still. I thought big backs equaled happiness. I can't lie.
Now, I hear that still. A lot of men go down that path, boy. Yeah?
Oh my gosh, be serious, Mike. For
You know what?
once.
All right, I'll start with me. I
Go
think
on.
one of my expectations was, in order for me to be happy, yeah, I need to be with a woman that doesn't have kids. All right. So for me to be like, if I meet a woman that doesn't have kids, therefore we can create a perfect family. I can have my wife and kids and all of this. And by doing that, I was blocking out amazing women because of that. Whereas like my happiness doesn't lie in someone having a kid or not. Like, so this expectation I was having that it has to be this way
Yeah.
was blocking me from probably meeting
Yeah.
the right person. So the moment I said, I don't care if they've got kids or no kids, that we could talk about, I don't care if they got 100K or not 100K, like, it's how they make me feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I feel like things started to feel a bit better.
That's
for me.
fair. That's fair. I did something similar. So mine was the opposite. I only dated women with kids. Only. Eating their snacks, eating their Capri Sun. That's probably fair. But in all honesty, like I only did that. I didn't go for girls without kids because I felt like we already don't have anything in common. Like what
Yeah,
are we
yeah,
gonna talk
yeah.
about? I'm talking about picking up my son. You're talking about you're talking about something else. Bro, how many baby mums? Hey. I literally,
Oh God.
you don't think I'm joking. I actually only dated women with kids.
Oh God. Oh.
And I literally, if a woman was single and she didn't have kids, it was a red flag for me.
Not having kids.
Not having kids.
How?
Honestly, that's how warped the way my thinking was. I literally thought we have nothing in common to start off with. You haven't got any kids. You don't know what it's like where sometimes I have to drop everything to pick up my son, or like I feel like if you're
I
single,
get it. I get it. I do
It's
get it.
normally
Though.
the other way around though. I
Normally.
feel like it's
Yeah,
normally
yeah.
women saying that I don't want to date a man that hasn't got
Yeah.
kids.
But I was literally that person. I was like, I felt uncomfortable dating any woman without a kid because I felt like we had nothing in common straight away, and I was limiting myself to just
Wow.
only maybe women with 1 or 2 kids.
And then
all
you
the rest
met
of it
someone that had no.
that had no kids, and it was perfect. She
Wow.
also, I want to put this out there as well. She also said,
Yeah.
and I had my son. Now we went on our first date and we spoke about it.
Wow.
I laid it on the table straight away. I've got a kid. This is my situation. This is my situation with my son's mum.
Look at that.
Many
So I'm
women are
like-
gonna love that because now they're gonna think, okay, maybe it can happen.
It can,
It
though.
can work.
But this is what I mean. It can, but we've got to remove that. It has to be this way. It has to be that way. That's what's blocking us from maybe finding the right job, or do you know what I mean, or actually being happy or finding the right partner. Is this idea of it has to be
Yeah.
this way? What was yours?
Honestly, I'm really struggling. I can't think of.
on the spot in it. It's a bit.
Yeah. I've been trying to think for a while.
But I think
Just if there's anything you can ask me to
I'm
try and
thinking
prompt.
maybe business wise, or like just happiness in general, because maybe, for example, like you spoke about health on this platform before, and I'm like, sometimes health can make you realize what is actually important. Like, you know what, I've been going for these things, and my happiness isn't actually there. Like,
Yeah, I feel like the health, the way my health is set up, that's always been my edge. So it's always given me perspective that tomorrow isn't promised. That's my mindset permanently. So what am I doing with my time while I'm here? And I look at it like a lot of things when it comes to like materialism and the desires that I once had when I was very, very young, like in my teens, early 20s, those things don't matter because tomorrow is not promised. So, and I know it sounds crazy that I have this type of mentality, but it's like, who's gonna care about the car that I'm driving and the watch I'm wearing and the clothes that I'm wearing when I go. So my mind, I don't need these things.
Can I just add on to that? I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I have thought of that at one point where if I'm not here anymore, let's say tomorrow, God forbid, I'm not here anymore. Like, what value have I brought, and how have I made people feel
There we go.
when I'm not here? And like you're saying, it's not the car I drive, the money I have in the bank. It's how I made my family feel, my closest, and even people that I don't even know, how I made them feel, and what value I've brought into the world that they can still use. And I don't know, it makes them feel better, or they can add on to and build on upon, if that makes sense.
No, honestly, I've had like three friends pass away within the past 3 years, and one thing I realized is that when I went to their like funeral, no one spoke about the car that they drove. No one spoke about the clothes that he was wearing. So those things don't matter.
In
Those
hindsight,
things
yeah.
don't matter. Like those desires that I once had when I was younger of, oh, I wanna wear this brand, I wanna have this car. They're just personal desires that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
So I think to wrap it up, you've got to be mindful that your expectations will actually make you happy. I think sometimes we carry expectations with us based on what other people have embedded in us or what society expects of us. But that doesn't mean that when you attain those things, you're even going to be happy.
Yeah.
And like you said, like to you, health is important. Like tomorrow is the one thing we probably take for granted, believing it's guaranteed, and it's not. So if your today is being ruined because you feel like you're not good enough or you haven't reached the the status or material objects that you feel like you should have by now, that doesn't mean even when you reach them, you're going to be happy. So really just be mindful of that as we go forward. But boys, I want to thank you for this conversation. As always, it's been a pleasure. This has been a
lovely,
Goodman
man.
Factory, and we will see you next time.
Peace.